Okay, so this is how you create a MIDI track with a sample in Ableton. So step number one is have a MIDI track. You can right click in the gray area and click insert MIDI track, or you can click on a track title, insert MIDI track. Next is that you drag your sample onto your MIDI track. You can see right now if I try to do that, it has this little do not do that symbol on my mouse. I let go, it doesn't work. That's because we're not in the right area. We need to select the name of your track down here, bottom right. Mine says to MIDI. It might say something different for you. But it will say drop an instrument or sample here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So next is the way that I create a MIDI track. It works. So how I do it is I select this, make sure that this little red record button is selected, and then I press this record button. And once I've pressed it, I'm going to press some keys on my keyboard. Make sure that you press the middle row of your keyboard. It's just surefire that you're going to get some MIDI notes. You can see that they've shown up here. And that's A through L on your keyboard. Press that. And then next what we're going to do is find the bottom right. Make sure we've selected somewhere in this track. And you're going to see right next to the name of your sample is some little notes you can kind of see. You're going to select that and you can see your MIDI. In this menu you can press B and you get into the pen modes. You can kind of put some notes wherever you want. And that toggles it, B toggles it. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like. So we didn't hear anything. I knew that was going to happen. We want to look at a couple of troubleshooting things if you don't hear anything for your MIDI track. First is your track like box here, is it yellow for your MIDI track? Is it yellow? Because that means it's enabled. If it is, the second thing you want to look for is, are any of the other tracks soloed? So that's what that S means. Are any of the other MIDI tracks soloed? Because if you try to play it, it's not playing my MIDI, right? It's playing this. And if there was something like empty and that was selected soloed, you're not going to hear anything at all. And so that can be some troubleshooting, beginner troubleshooting tips there. So I want to make sure that's unselected, and just going to go ahead and delete that track because we don't need it. So now, since we've seen that this is yellow enabled and then also nothing else is soloed, we play it, there's still nothing, right? That's because, so we need to go and look at our bottom right, click on the sample. We need to kind of see what part of it it's getting to. What part of it is it playing? And we can do that by just pressing the play button and watching down here as it happens. So you can see this orange line is happening, but it's only getting to this point. And that really just looks like empty space. That looks like nothing is happening there. So what you want to do is move your track there to where something is happening. And if we play it now, we can kind of hear something. That's another troubleshooting tip, is that it's really low. Since it's really low, or at least really low for this track, it's making a really low like thumping noise. So what you can do is select everything with your highlighter like that, or you can press Control A and that will select everything in your track, and you can move it up. So let's go ahead and like move it maybe, like 3 octaves, which means I'm going to put it to C3 because it was at C1. That's 2 octaves, but whatever. Yeah, when we play it, we can kind of hear it. That's great. So that's what we want. But we know as we look here, right, it's only making it this far. So if we want it to be longer, we can press Control A. Maybe we don't want the, press Control A and then drag it out, and that'll make everything get longer. So let's go ahead and hear how that sounds. Wow, just beautiful. I've created art. But that's it. That's how you make MIDI. I never